The ocean, whether massive waves, strong currents, or freezing waters, is dangerous. Oceans do have the potential to dispose of you in an instant. Today, we're venturing into the murky waters. Here are the top 15 most dangerous types of fish ever found. Number 15. Needlefish, measuring just 1 meter long and weighing just 4 kilograms, are much more dangerous than they look. That's because these fish not only have a long, sharp, and bony beak, but also tend to leap out of the water at speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour. Unfortunately, this has made them a true terror in their Indian and Pacific Ocean habitats. They're attracted to lights from boats and will often leap out and impale unsuspecting sailors. As a result, they are widely considered even more dangerous than sharks to fishermen who work in needlefish-infested areas. Number 14. Stingray. As the name suggests, stingrays stand out because they stinger near the base of their tail. While they are usually docile, they don't hesitate to use said stinger when threatened. Typically, this only occurs with humans if one has accidentally stepped on them, as they tend to burrow under the sand as camouflage to ambush prey. Unfortunately, these stings are excruciating and often cause secondary symptoms such as local tissue death, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and muscle cramps. Yet, while smaller stingrays likely will not kill you, larger species can pose a real threat. Most notably, famed ecologist Steve Irwin learned this the hard way in 2006 when he, unfortunately, passed away after coming into contact with a 2-meter-long bull stingray. As a result, we'd recommend swimming in the other direction if you see one on your next tropical vacation. Number 13. Giant moray eel. Although there are over 200 different species of moray eel, the giant moray eel is undoubtedly the most troublesome. Found throughout the Indian and Pacific Oceans, they can reach up to 3 meters long and weigh as much as 30 kilograms. While they're not all that aggressive due to spending most of their time in caves, they can do severe damage when divers attempt to feed them. Sometimes, they will lunge forward and bite off the fingers of said divers. As a result, we wouldn't recommend staying close to them on your next scuba diving adventure. Number 12. Barracuda. Found in the oceans worldwide, the barracuda is an apex predator that has the potential to inflict some severe damage. Reaching lengths of up to 2 meters and weights of up to 50 kilograms, the barracuda is massive and also sports a set of sharp teeth to chomp down on its prey. But generally speaking, barracudas are harmless to humans as they typically only attack other fish. However, in murky waters, they have been known to bite the arms and legs of humans after mistaking them for the underbelly of a fish. They've also been known to chew down on shiny objects such as belt buckles, necklaces, and earrings. As a result, these beastly barracudas can be bothersome. Number 11. Anglerfish. When it comes to deep-sea creatures, few are as frightening as the anglerfish. Although only about the size of a coffee cup, they have a pretty scary appearance. With the 200 species each featuring a prominent lure hanging off their front end. They use this lure to attract prey. Once said prey is close enough, it will clamp down on it with its impressive set of teeth. However, while anglerfish are extremely dangerous to fish, they live too far below the sea to ever come into contact with humans. Regardless, this is probably for the best. Number 10. Box jellyfish. While getting a sting from most species of jellyfish would be painful, the box jellyfish takes it up a notch. These aggressive fish, found throughout the Indian and Pacific Oceans, administer one of the most toxic stings in the world. As far as jellyfish go, box jellyfish are pretty massive, coming in at about 10 feet long. Their tentacles have about 5,000 stinging cells each equipped with a toxin that attacks the heart, nervous system, and skin cells. Unfortunately, this toxin is so painful that human victims have been known to either go into shock and drown or die of heart failure mere moments after coming into contact with one. Even if you survive, you can expect to experience considerable pain for weeks. There's often significant scarring where the tentacles make contact with your skin. As a result, we'd suggest swimming in the other direction if you see one of these in the water during your next beach vacation. Number 9. Killer whales. A mainstay at parks such as SeaWorld and Marineland, killer whales are certainly one of the most impressive fish on the planet. Typically coming in at a length of about 6 to 8 meters and a weight of over 6 tons, they genuinely are massive. It turns out that they are not, in fact, whales but instead the most prominent member of the dolphin family. They are strong hunters, typically attacking in packs and going after seals, cod, and sometimes even minke whales. Unfortunately, they tend to attack humans. However, in the wild, these assaults are sporadic. Instead, it's when killer whales are put into captivity that they become deadly, as they will sometimes lash out against their trainers out of frustration, stress, or loneliness, often leading to severe injuries and, at times, even death. As a result, these attacks certainly have given killer whale shows a bad rap in recent years. Number 8. The reef stonefish. While it may look like a rock or a lump of coral, the reef stonefish is one of the most toxic fish in the world. Found in coral reefs throughout the Indian and Pacific Oceans, it's a master of disguise, hiding on the seafloor to camouflage with its surroundings. It hunts while on the seafloor, quickly swimming and catching unsuspecting prey at rapid speeds. These speeds are so quick that a reef stonefish attack often lasts as little as 0.015 seconds. However, while these fish are usually not dangerous to humans, they can be threatened very well. That's because 13 dorsal fins on their spine contain a highly toxic venom. This venom can lead to severe pain, heart failure, and even death if left untreated. Luckily, since 1959, antivenom has been able to treat stonefish stings. It's also said that putting a wounded area in hot water can help soothe the pain. Yet, given that they only sting if stepped on or otherwise touched in any way, it's easy to steer clear of them while snorkeling or scuba diving, so long as you keep your hands off the reef. Number 7. Goliath tigerfish. While most of the fish on this list only attack humans if provoked, the Goliath tigerfish stands apart for having actively attacked humans on several occasions. Found throughout the Congo River Basin, the Goliath tigerfish is relatively large, growing to lengths of about 1.5 meters and weights of up to about 50 kilograms. It hunts by ambushing small fish. It is speeding up to them and clamping down on them with a large set of teeth, each typically growing as much as 1 inch long. As a result, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the local name for the species is the mumbling, which means dangerous fish in Swahili. Yet, the Goliath tigerfish is hazardous because it will often attack prey much more extensively than itself. As such, it has routinely assaulted both crocodiles and humans, and stories abound throughout the Congo River Basin of attacks from this nasty creature. As a result, we'd recommend staying far away from this body of water unless you'd like to become its next victim. Number 6. Red-bellied piranhas. The Amazon River has packs of predatory fish known as red-bellied piranhas. These carnivores, which grow to lengths of about 50 centimeters and weigh in at about 5 kilograms, are notable because they are not only meat-eaters but also have incredibly sharp sets of teeth. Typically, they use said teeth to chase down small prey such as worms, crustaceans, and fish, and in fact, will often scavenge for plants and insects to meet their dietary needs. However, when food is scarce, piranhas will sometimes gang together to take down large prey in what is known as a feeding frenzy. Usually eating up said significant individual within minutes, the victim will typically be an animal such as a capybara or an egret. However, in some cases, the victim will, unfortunately, be a human, and although such occurrences are infrequent, they have unfortunately led to some horrific deaths. Number 5. Swordfish. As the name suggests, swordfish is one of the sharper fish. Their sword-shaped bills are incredibly honed and durable and are typically used to hunt down smaller fish. However, rather than impale their prey with their swords, they usually use them as scythes, slashing through small schools of fish to knock them out and gobble them up. While their fast speeds and ferocious hunting style are no real danger to humans, swordfish can be quite a hazard when harpooned. That's because when impaled, they will typically jump or dive in such a way that could damage a boat or injure a human. Unfortunately, a Hawaiian man named Randy Lames found this out the hard way in 2015 when he became the first recorded person to be killed by one of these creatures. You see, he had shot one with his harpoon when, by instinct, the swordfish jumped up and, in the process, punctured Lames in the chest, leading to him later passing away in the hospital. This goes to show how dangerous swordfish genuinely are. It turns out that swordfish are much more difficult when they're out of the water than when they're inside of it. This is because their meat contains very high mercury levels, which is of particular concern to pregnant women. It turns out that long-term swordfish consumption can cause mercury to accumulate in your bloodstream over time, and that if too much mercury is in a pregnant woman's bloodstream, it could damage a baby's developing brain and nervous system. As a result, we suggest you stay far away from this mercury-high fish dish if you're expecting a child anytime soon. Number 4. Pufferfish. While pufferfish may not be the most significant or fastest, their ability to puff up and poison their predators makes them extremely dangerous. The pufferfish typically only inflate when they feel threatened, as their puffed-up persona makes them look like a giant ball of spikes, which isn't precisely appetizing for a would-be predator. Additionally, their ends contain a neurotoxin known as tetrodotoxin, which can cause paralysis, seizures, and even death in humans. To make matters worse, the neurotoxin is up to 1,200 times more poisonous than cyanide and so abundant in pufferfish that just one can kill up to 30 adult humans. When you further consider that there is no antidote for a pufferfish's neurotoxins, it becomes clear that they should be avoided. Interestingly, a Japanese delicacy known as fugu turns pufferfish into a delectable dish. Having been eaten by the Japanese for over 2,000 years, fugu is a mainstay in Japanese culture. However, in recent years it has been heavily regulated by the state. Since 1958, chefs had to obtain a license to prepare fugu. This involves completing a 2-year apprenticeship under a certified fugu chef and then undertaking an examination. The first 2 hours of said examination are written, but afterward, there's a 3-minute fugu identification component and a 20-minute fugu preparation component. However, considering that only about 35 of the applicants pass, the license is challenging to obtain. Regardless, even though these chefs are highly trained, you would undoubtedly be taking a significant risk if you chose to consume a puffer fish. Number 3. Lionfish. While the vibrant patterns, bright colors, and attractive shape of a lionfish may make them one of the most beautiful fish on this list, this certainly does not make them any less dangerous. Hailing from the South Pacific and Indian Oceans, 12 lionfish species are out there, all of which feast on shrimp and smaller fish. However, when threatened, they'll use the poisonous spikes across their back, pelvis, and underside. Being filled with toxins, being stung with said spikes can cause intense pain and sweating, and in extreme cases, respiratory distress and paralysis in humans. Luckily, there is a relatively simple cure for lionfish stings, as one must remove the spines and soak the wound in hot water to help break down the toxins. If this treatment is performed, then the pain from the sting typically subsides. After 1 or 2 days, however, if it's not treated in time, then it's far less effective. Yet, lionfish are even more worrisome because they're an invasive species, appearing in densities of over 350 fish per hectare on some reefs. They have spread across the eastern seaboard and the Mediterranean. This is problematic because they not only have no predators outside the Indo-Pacific, but they also have a voracious appetite. And most notably, they have decimated about 65 to 95% of the endemic small reef fish in the Bahamas in just a 30-year time frame. Next, the candiru, found in the depths of the Amazon, is a tiny but incredibly mighty fish, measuring about 17 centimeters in length and being transparent in color. It's tough to spot and is widely known as a vampire fish due to its tendency to swim into the gills of smaller fish and live off them like a parasite. However, while the reports on the subject are shaky, there's quite a bit of anecdotal evidence to suggest that candirues have another target: humans. In particular, descriptions specify that candirues swim into human private parts, with urethras being the most common place of attack. It is said that once there, they will latch onto its walls with barbs, with said spikes only driving deeper into them if you try to pull one out. As a result, while some suggested remedies exist, many historical accounts suggest just cutting the offending member off to relieve yourself of the pain. Luckily, the actual empirical evidence attesting to candiru attacks remains limited. Many scientists today believe that these were just sensationalized stories and that if a candiru were to swim up your private parts, it would be entirely by accident, as they would not survive for long after having done so. Regardless, we still suggest staying far away from the Amazon's murky waters. After all, you never know if a cruel candiru will make you their next target. Moving on, great white sharks, although not quite as dangerous as movies like Jaws and Sharknado make them out to be, are still one of the most dangerous animals out there, measuring as long as 6 meters and typically weighing in at more than 2.5 tons. The great white is massive. Unsurprisingly, it uses its power and 300 serrated teeth to its advantage, attacking prey such as sea lions, seals, small toothed whales, and sea turtles. Yet it turns out that, at times, humans also make their way onto the menu, and while sharks don't like the taste of humans, they often mistake them for seals. However, after they take one bite and realize their mistake, they swim away. Unfortunately, this is a relatively weak assurance. Even one bite is enough to maim or kill a human severely. Yet, with only about 30 to 35 significant white shark attacks occurring yearly, the chances of you coming face to face with one are low. As a result, if we crunch the numbers, the sharks should be scared of us. That's because if we include all types of sharks, humans kill 100 million annually. In other words, between 6.4 and 7.9% of their entire population. The primary reason for this shark slaughter is thanks to the demand for shark fin soup in many Asian countries, where it's a delicacy that's so expensive that just one bowl of it can cost upwards of $100. As a result, conservation efforts are being made worldwide to ensure these sharks remain in our oceans and off our dinner plates. That's all we have for you today, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments below which fish you thought was the most dangerous, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can experience all of our latest content. Until next time.